In this video, I'm going to be using the Vanishing Point filter again to put my artwork onto a blank box here. But in this case, we have a box that actually has perpendicular sides at a 90-degree angle to each other. And so that's going to allow us to use a special feature in the Vanishing Point filter that I want to show you guys. So first thing we're going to do is put our artwork into the clipboard. So I have it on this layer. We're going to hit Command and click here to make a selection of just the artwork. We'll hit Command C to put that into the clipboard. And then we'll just go ahead and turn off that layer and hit Command D to deselect so we don't have our selection there. So now our artwork is in the clipboard. We'll make a new layer here, and we always want to work with a new layer when we're using the Vanishing Point filter. And we'll go up to Filter and go to Vanishing Point. There we go. It's going to bring up this dialog. And so we'll use our Create Plane tool here to define this first plane. Just click the four sides. And you can always go back and just adjust it to be as precise as possible. And so the special feature here is that if you hit Command and click on and hover over one of these vertexes on the sides, you can actually click and drag. And what it's going to do is create a plane on the perpendicular plane to the one that you've defined. And then you can always go back and adjust this because it'll never be exactly right. And it depends on how good you make the first definition. So it's a really cool way to define two sides, and the really awesome thing here is if I paste my artwork in and drag it in, and this is on the wrong side, so we'll go ahead and undo that and then hit Command T to bring up the transform tool. So we'll rotate this and we'll just scale it down to about the right size. Then if we drag it in, you can see it not only puts it into perspective, but it will actually wrap around the corner, which I always thought is just a really cool feature. So I'll go ahead and put that into place, hit OK, and you can see it just wraps it around automatically for us, which is really cool. So then if I put this into multiply, you can already see it looks really, really convincing. And just to make a few finishing touches on this, and these are good techniques for making your composites look more realistic, we're going to add a little bit of blur and a little bit of noise to this layer because we're putting it in a photographic realm. And if you zoom in, you can see there's a lot of aliasing and a lot of sharp edges here, whereas the photographic box doesn't have those. And so to imitate the photographic style, we're going to add a little bit of blur and a little bit of noise. So we're going to go to Filter, and we're going to first convert this for smart filters. What that will do is allow us to go back and change our settings on these filters, which is really powerful. So it helps us work non-destructively. So we're going to convert that to smart filters, and then we're first going to apply a blur. So we're going to go to Filter, down to Blur, and then to Gaussian Blur. And Gaussian Blur is just a blur that just sort of blurs everything generally in a kind of random way. So if we zoom in here, we're trying to get this blur to imitate the amount of blur that's in the photograph. And you don't want to go overboard with this. And sometimes you want to err on the side of making it a little bit too sharp, just because you don't want your artwork to look fuzzy. You want it to be pretty sharp so people can read the text. So in this case, I think 0.7 pixels is looking pretty good. And since this is a smart filter, you can always go back down here and double click on this and change that setting. So that's what's really cool about smart filters. And then I'll add noise. So Filter, go to Noise, and down to Add Noise. And here we want to click monochromatic because we don't want color noise to come in. We just want the monochromatic noise. And we're just going to scale this down again until it looks about right. So for me, let's see. 1.5 is looking pretty good. So we'll go ahead and click OK for that. So we'll zoom back out, and you can see that's looking really realistic. So that's all you need to do to wrap stuff around edges using the Vanishing Point filter. So I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.